checkout, and what we're going to say, let's say register user. How about that? That was just
We are missing.
that's me doing. I cleaned up some stuff, so that's fine. I'll make it part of this. Because my Git discipline is very weak. Like, I just put it all in one commit. It's all good.
Twitch.
Mix ecto. Jan, let's create a migration. We want to create users. So let's go to our little repo. And we're going to create a table of users. Timestamps, because yes. Like, when you don't, you regret it.
Yeah, yeah. So Sublime Text now has proper Elixir highlighting?
Sublime? Yeah, I guess. I've always used Sublime. It's always been my Elixir thing, so yes.
Good to know. Okay. Today I learned.
Let's have our hash password. And let's take a look and see, did we say anything else that a user has? The only notes I have is say they have email and password. Do we have anything?
Unless you wanted to, well, we could cache karma, but for now, let's just regenerate it every time and then performance optimize it later.
Yeah, I'm pulling up our README that we have, our discovery.
Oh, I'm finishing some lunch, so if it sounds annoying, point it out, and I'll not be annoying.
We have description text in the email?
Oh, for the user. Yeah, the user profile description.
Okay.
Because they might have a profile. So, like, might want to call it, description text string. And then...
just so... remember, I generally do description HTML.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I...
Because we typically have markdown that then gets compiled. So.
Okay, well, that looks good. You talked about they might have karma. I guess I will make a migration when we have karma.
Exactly.
This is...
I would even go so far as to say that, at least starting out, you can have a function which calculates the user karma. Okay. And then when that becomes no longer performant, that's when you start caching it in the database. So first you have no feature, then you have lazy implementation of feature, then you have performant implementation of feature.
Exactly. You heard the module description. Can't you put a module description up here, or does it have to be inside? I've never really done module descriptions.
After my adventures in commenting last time, I'm just going to keep quiet. Module description. This is a description for the module. God. Now there's a question. Change that model cast. Okay. Now, refresh my memory. We picked change set to be how you... why did we pick change set again?
And is responsible for managing user registration and authentication. Here we go. All right. So why change sets? It's sort of the short answer is that's the way you do it, or that you recommend. So what it allows us to do is validate what changes are occurring and how they occur. It sort of is the way now for Ecto for you to do it. Like, you can do it the other way, but
don't.
But it's like, don't do that, and you'll get frowny faces from people. I do think one of the things that we do is with these commands, we add a layer on top of change sets. I do think that using change sets inside a controller is sort of skipping a step.
1 second. Also, okay, so oh yeah, never mind. I was about to start talking about that, and you nailed it. Thanks. hashed password
Actually,
or hashed password?
oh yeah, yes, that too.
Sorry, man.
No. It's I think what's instead of doing text, let's do say markdown because that does communicate that that's what we expect inside there.
Agreed. Uh,
Okay. Required fields is an email. Um,
Out of sort of morbid curiosity, has anybody already written user systems for?
they have some. I've just like
They're never the right answer.
yeah, I feel like Devise is great. There's nothing wrong with Devise. It's just there's been many scenarios when I got into Devise where it's like I sort of wanted to do something different, and it was a big black box, and I had to dive into a lot of different code and stuff. And for me, it's so easy to do a lot of the user stuff. Like we're not talking spending weeks of effort.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think it's the inner Node thing. There's certain things about Node I did like, and having that intimacy with your system on certain elements I liked. And that's how I feel with authentication. Authentication, I feel like I want that intimacy of I know how the passwords are being built and
Mhm.
checked, and how I am allowing or denying access to certain things.
I agree with that. I'd looked at, I think it's called like Passport or something for Node. And what was funny was that at the last gig there was like the normal database, your normal like username and login, but we also had to add uh, a couple different auth sources. One of which was like Active Directory and LDAP, and that was exciting. And I'm actually very happy that we owned our own user system because adding it was a lot simpler. Um,
Right. And to me, like when it's like, oh, we need to, integrate with this other system. You mentioned like it becomes easier. You're like, I understand how to do that. Like we did a security audit. There's nothing to do. Like it'd be different if like we had a security audit this last project where we did this our own authentication system, and they're like, this is terrible. You get an F. They looked at it and they go, thumbs up. And so from my point of view, I'm like, well, if that's thumbs up from these guys,
then we're good.
then we're good. Yeah, like it's all good. I'm not storing these things as plain text. I'm hashing it, and we're gonna be using it with bcrypt. So it's all good.
The one that was kind of insane was a few years ago at DevStack. My co-founder Brian did all of our backend work, and we did single sign-on with Kerberos of all things because reasons, and we ended up probably with the best Kerberos implementation in the Ruby community, but that source is on a dead machine somewhere, unfortunately. But it's fun work.
All right, and so the library we're using for Elixir is called comeonin. I'm gonna pull it up here.
Come on in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's it do?
It does all the hashing of the things.
Oh, okay.
Pretty easy to use. And that's this. They also looked at this library and they gave it a thumbs up. And my independent uh, security friends also looked at it and gave it a thumbs up. So I go, all right.
So is it literally just for hashes, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
As far
cool.
as you hash, get a password, then you check against it. That's it. And I'm pretty sure if we go underneath the covers, that it's like maybe they change it, but it used to maybe just call Erlang. A lot of these libraries are just like they just call Erlang underneath it.
Mhm.
Erlang sort of knows what it's doing.
I started writing a little web spider. That was an interesting experience in Elixir. I will let you know how that goes. It's kind of fun.
Fair enough. Let me double check. I think it's import, but yeah, that's. I'm still learning the difference between import and using. So like using from our stand and like it adds certain functions into your scope. And import, I guess, just gives you sort of like it's sort of more like using in C#, where it's like I have access to that namespace. So
Yep.
uh, what that means, I can recite the words, but what that means, I'm still trying to figure all that out.
I mean, I would restate it as I guess like using is kind of like mixins, but then it's like okay, well, what's a mixin? And it's like
Quit asking questions.
I
Alright.
really do like the pipe arrow.
Yeah, he's your friend.
Um, okay, user. And if it blows up, what's it going to blow up?
That's the question. I don't know.
I feel like we ran into this before with story.
Let's at least handle it. Let's at least set up the machinations so that we can handle it. Oh, yeah, we'll do something really simple. It will say, hey, okay, if it's a because we're doing the bang here.
Yeah, no, I would go look at story. We did this for story already. We have a yeah. See,
There we go. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I like that structure better.
yep. Self plagiarism is best plagiarism.
Yeah, consistency too. Yeah. Okay. And said
And if it's really consistent, we could write a macro for it and make even more magic.
no. Macro is the same thing as I feel like with metaprogramming, where it's just like I. It always was. It was something where it's like, yes, it's cool, but in the end, I'm not sure you gained a whole lot in terms of, and so you add a whole lot of complexity for little minor gains.
Mhm.
But unless you're building a framework, when you're building a framework, then it's like, yes, the magic is awesome.
I'd written some fun code, so I'd gotten dropped into Node my last job, and I ended up basically re-implementing the Express router without noticing it until like a year later. I was looking at the Express docs and I'm like, router. Oh, that looks interesting. Read. Oh,
Dope.
because I'd written functions to generate other functions that like curried stuff. It was kind of clever, but in the retrospect, it was totally superfluous. Like, so I moved us back to using just the router properly because I'm of the opinion that like you should aggressively go back and match whatever people's normal way of doing things is once you learn.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, speaking of which, normal way of doing this is getting a drink. Be right back. Alrighty, here we go. Let me drink my acid poison
Yeah, what is this?
soda.
Oh no.
All right, so we'll do
Which soda?
Diet Pepsi with cherry.
Oh god, I'm okay, man. Okay. You lost me at Pepsi, but that's a religious thing. I can't. I won't expect you to.
I wouldn't understand. I'm so much of an addict, I don't care. They're like Pepsi or Diet Coke or Coke, and I'm like, I don't care, just whatever.
Own it. It's all good. I used to drink way too much NOS, those energy drinks.
Yeah.
They have that's one of the reasons I swore off caffeine. It was just too much energy drinks and problems because of that. And I'm just like, nope, no more, no mas, never again. Ronan? Roman?
Ronin.
Yeah, I read as Ronan. I was like, oh, awesome. I am Spartacus.
Yeah, every app you can tell if I did the authentication system is Tony Stark and I am Iron Man. Even though
Oh, Iron Man. Wow, I can't read it for anything.
even though I don't, I'm a Captain America guy. It's just I do like the first movie of Iron Man, the ending. I am Iron Man.
Yellow. Yeah, I actually really liked Iron Man 3. I don't know if anybody else did, but I enjoyed it.
I thought it was good. And my secret is that I liked Iron Man 2 fine too.
Wait. It's going to be hashed password, right?
Oh yeah. Hash, and it should not equal Iron Man. That's what.
We don't care what it equals, but it had better not be the clean
Yeah,
text.
and it should not be nil too. We should be there. Assert. And we want to assert that if we import, come on and be bcrypt. We should be able to do check password, I think is it, and it should be user.hash password. And compilation error. Yep. So you're right. So this has to be inside the module. Good to know. I think it's a good thing to put over the schema too. That makes sense. Alright, so apparently it's not that. What's the magic sauce?
I think you need to do bcrypt dot, maybe?
It's PW.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, because I have an import. That's what lets me do that.
Oh, right. I'm still getting used to that.
Register user is not available. Actions. Oh. Register user. Bop, 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 bop. Alright, let's take a look. What do we do? Oh, we didn't.
Execute.
I didn't do actions on him. Right? Is that what we did? Actions. Oh, let me change this. No.
Wait. Go back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go to the test. My apologies. Yep. Yeah. User register actions dot.
So yeah, I just didn't have the module properly defined last time. All right, undefined function. There we go. Repo is not available. Let's take a look. Lobsters. Oh, it's PhoenixLobsters for the repo. Did we?
Wait, no, surely not.
Yes. You know why? It's not rock lobsters. B52 has got you messed up.
God, I'm sorry, man.
There we go. Okay, no match. Hash password cannot be blank. All right. Oh, yeah, because there we go. Hey, our thing returned correct. Bcrypt. Right hand side value. Oh. Doop. And to check the source, it takes two arguments. Here, so it's not me magically. I'm looking at it, remembering. Okay, it takes two arguments: passwords first, then stored hash. And so this is cool. We'll be using this in our sign-in, but it actually it prevents brute force attacks.
Oh, nice. So you just need to swap those arguments. It looks like.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. And what we'll do too is we'll assert that the user actually got created. So user
Exists, I guess.
repo.all.
What?
Let's see if that even works. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, it's because he didn't know about repo. I'm pretty sure it's not going to like this part right here.
Lobsters.
Those lobsters. Son of
Oh, no.
I always get backwards.
Yep.
There we go. Look at that.
Yay.
So, all right. So that seems pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to separate spaces because I like spaces inside here. Arrange, act, assert. So, seems pretty good. What to do? So, always do the sort of negative associated with it. Let's see. Register user requires a password. So, what happens when we put in a blank? Should get error, right? I don't know what that message and error should be, but I sort of think that's what we do.
Focus. Are you doing that just to review the test you're currently working with?
Yeah, I'm experimenting with it because I'm trying to get better with tags, so that I don't run all of them. I'm just running that one test, but it didn't look like it worked. I guess I
No,
could.
no, 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 no. It worked. It hit exactly.
Well, it failed, but
Never mind.
see that one looks like it. Did I not do the tag right? I thought it was that way with tags. Let's double check. I've literally been learning it this week, so I could totally.
I think your syntax on the left is right. I just.
Oh no 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 no! What it is this? It's not tag. I should say only.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
That's the
Awesome
ticket.
sauce. Yeah, I use that with when I was working on graph math. I used that just to keep because I had like something like 200 tests for that library at least, and so it was because it's just math, but it was you had to chop it up. Otherwise, you get crazy. Um, Wait
Or
a
do we want to
second.
make this an array?
Well, wait. In the repository, can't we say that if in the schema that the field is required? Because then we can just use the existing stuff for it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Again, like change sets, I'm used to just doing everything by hand. So,
Oh,
oh, but hash password. What happens when you?
well, if you hash something, it can't be empty, right? And so if you try to decrypt an empty string, it will give you an empty string back, I think.
Um,
Or no,
False.
actually, that's yeah. I'm sorry, that was really stupid. Never mind. Never mind. I'm a being dumb. Um,
What we can do is do this, and let's see what happens with the error messages, and we can reproduce. So hash password can't be blank. Okay, so they give. Let's make another thing required because I want to see what it looks like when it has two of them. Okay. So my thoughts are you can do this and be. There we go.
looks legit. Okay, and just going ahead, the reason that we actually did that is we went ahead and we want to make sure that we throw up when you gave us an empty password. And the reason that we had to do a special case for the empty password is because when you hash an empty string, it will still give you back a hash for the empty string. So the model would not be able to validate that.
Yeah, and I think we probably could do something like so. Another way of doing it is hashing the password inside the chain set. And we did that before on a project, and I don't know, like it. I'm always hesitant in doing a lot of complexity inside the chain set, and I think that's where, like, I will agree that hey, chain sets are the way to go for the stuff, but I'm going to disagree with it. The chain set should have all this crazy logic because it just feels a little bit like I was never big on field validation either, because sometimes it's like I need to be able to run with scissors. like I know that this field is required, but in this given scenario, it isn't required. And suddenly, then you have this optional required, and suddenly you have all these other crazy things going on. And so what I instead I opt for is everything goes through these commands, these command or actions, and these things are well tested. And so, but change sets are a good thing. So
Go back to the. Could you go back to the actions for the user,
yeah,
like the register user?
yeah,
So in our case, if we wanted to add like password requirements, like must have one uppercase, must have all the annoying stuff,
right.
we would handle that, I guess.
Inside here,
Yep.
and previously we did inside, like I did inside a change set, um, and but yeah, we would put it inside here.
Cool.
Let's do say that hey, this requires an email.
Email. It's just some non-empty string followed by an at followed by some other non-empty string. Just phone it in.
Yeah, we're not even validating that the email's the right format. Required requires email. But you know what? We actually have a test, so there you go.
It's more than a lot of people.
Yeah, so the email's doing the same thing if it's there. It's a require fill, but we're not doing any blank checks. And you know what? That might be. Let me put that down in my homework. I'm going to explore a little bit more of the validation with chain sets.
I would do here. You have the right idea. Just do the same thing you did on line 6.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah. I think we'll do the same thing, but I think let's at least explore the idea of certain things we're doing is exploring how we would even do it in a chain set as well, because I think we probably can.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, just throw a to do in there.
or also, let me dock this dock module, right?
Mhm.
Crap, it didn't auto generate. So what does it look like? A module dock. That's it. Register user accepts or requires a non-empty email and password. Creates a user record and hashes password. Done.
Sounds good.
Hey. All right. I kind of feel like that's a good one to push up, and then I'll do another branch for other things. Or do you think it should do the API endpoint for this branch?
For users,
Mm-hmm.
might as well go ahead and do it because we're basically doing the create user feature. So
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Very good point.
feature branch, yay!
Post register. Let's take a look at these controllers.
It's a question. Do you know if there's a service where you can sign up as a contractor or whatever, and they handle all of the tax stuff for you?
Yes. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but I do know the people to reach out to do, and they love it. And so like they're just basically like a go-between.
Okay,
The
cool.
client pays them, and then they pay you, and they manage all that stuff. I even think they even do like insurance and other things too.
Huh.
A smart person probably would use them, but
Meanwhile, here in Houston, you and me.
I can do it. You ever watch Arrested Development?
Oh, no, not really.
There's a part where they have this bad relationship, and he's an actual marriage counselor, and like they're gonna go on a break, and he's like, it's like, does breaks ever work? And he's like, no, they never work. Like the people always like persuade themselves or lie to themselves that like that it will work out, but it never does. But maybe it'll work this time. That's how I feel sometimes when you do stuff. It's like, it's a bad idea, it never works, but you're like, but maybe this time it will work.
This will be the exception that
Yeah,
proves the rule.
exactly.
Def module PhoenixLobsters API controller or user controller API test.
What are we doing?
And then API test, not index test, I'm guessing.
Oh, no, register test.
Got it.
API register creates user connection. Fireman. I'm also sort of anti-factory, and later on we get to things that I just like building it myself. But we can also explore using factories. So get connection. We're gonna do a post there. We're gonna post a register, and we're gonna say, "Hey, it's right," and a response. I don't know. What do we want to respond with?
201 created.
Just say a message, or do you want the user ID or anything? Or
Oh, Well, do you respond with the hashed password? That seems kind of odd.
Mm, well, we wouldn't pass it down. I wouldn't do that. That feels bad.
I would just say 201 created, right?
Okay, so you want the status to be 201?
Yeah, 200 is accepted, so 201 is resource was created. I'm 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 one of those guys. I'm sorry.
That's
I'll warn
fine.
you in
That's
advance.
fine. Hey, it's good. It's good. Part of the project is to, again, stretch us and be like, hey, if this is your thing, let's get it done. All right.
My my brother-in-law just had a fun problem with using some Google APIs because have you heard of accept ranges? It lets you basically request subsets of an online resource useful for like resuming downloads or whatever.
Mhm.
Apparently, Google Cloud Storage just ignores the request ranges. You're like, hey, can I have like this part of the file? And it's like, sure. And it gives you the whole file, and then it blows up your ISP. Um, in his case, he was very sad.
They don't have money in people, though. Smart people.
No. It's tough times out in the valley.
Yeah.
Um,
Authentication controller. And we'll just.
and it's not. Is it index or no? We want
Yeah.
register, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Email, password, password,
And
and
I need more projects. I got to start another project like this just to get practiced. I'm watching you bang this out, and I'm like, I don't have this familiarity yet with Elixir. I need this.
I'm so happy with Elixir stuff that like I definitely going forward. Just like, look, I'm just gonna do Elixir, and so I think that some of the future gigs are like I want to get off of full stack JavaScript stuff because you end up being like in a project, you end up spending 80% of your time on the front end JavaScript, and it's like I just want to code my Elixir and be happy.
There's a fellow out in New Orleans who's doing a Elixir to JavaScript compiler. Um,
Yeah,
he
Brian
gives
Joseph. He's on the virtual brown bag. He shared a couple of times.
yeah. He actually looks he looks like a little bit like my old co-founder. It's kind of hilarious. Also named Brian. Um, I talked with him a little bit about trying to implement how you would implement processes in JavaScript. It's kind of a fun question, really. But if they ever actually get around to introducing proper shared memory and multi-threading in JavaScript, which would be a nightmare. If they do it, then I will say, nope, I'm using Elixir and JavaScript full time. Like, I'm not even going to play that game.
Yeah. I'm to the point where it's like that's my dream is that I just write Elixir all day and I don't even care about the JavaScript. And like even the front end, I was like Elixir. Even now, I'm gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't even want to do that. Even I guess if I was on the front team, I was like, okay, y'all do that. I'll worry about the CSS because I do have skills in CSS and SAS and less and all that jazz. What do we have? Error, and we have errors. And what do we do? Oh, we probably need to change the status here. So let's use our good old pipe operator. 201. I think we say render register.json. And I think that will do what we need it to do. Here we'll do put status 500. You can correct me on any of the status codes. I think the best was like I had some demo code and I didn't care about the status code, so I put 404 inside there. And I was
Oh,
sharing is like this code, like, hey, does this code look right? And then Jesse was laughing at me because it was like I think it was authentication thing. Be like, hey, you authenticated
I think it's
wrong.
like
It's 404. You're like, what?
I think it's like 413 for invalid parameters, but I'd have to check. Um, I'm like super picky about API design. It's kind of a problem. Um, no, 413 is payload too large. Ooh, 400. 400 is just you. You gave me a malformed request. Please don't do that again. So 400. Sorry. If that's the other case we were looking to handle.
Okay, so we have PhoenixLobsters authentication controller dot register. Let me double check that route set up right. Authentication controller. We want to go to the register. We're posting it. We go here. We're posting API slash register. And double check around.
Do we want to do auth register? Because then we have auth login, auth users, or whatever.
Why do you want the auth prefix?
It is all of the actions having to do with authentication. That's my reasoning. That might be bad reasoning. I will I'm open to suggestions.
I've never seen it that way. That's my hesitation. But I understand what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay, cool. Well, let's keep it like it is then.
Yeah, let's think about it.
Yep.
I process it and experiment. All right, bad requests. No matching action clause. Oh, I bet I know what's going on here. Let's see. You probably should read stuff.
Oh, I hate that. This file changed on
and you're
this.
Like,
I don't know.
Yes. So this register has looking for email and password. My guess is that, yeah. See, it's gonna want that.
Yeah, that'd probably help.
And so that's the one thing with Elixir is like the key is learning what the error messages mean, because sometimes they will throw you down a completely different path.
Wait. Poison dot encode, right? Because you need to shove it as a JSON blob.
It'll handle it. Be magic.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
It does the things for you. Just go with it, man. The only time I've had to do encoding is when you might have been engineering, might have been handling like an array or complexity, and it was more to simulate that on the front end. For the front end in JavaScript, I've always had problems sending in arrays as parameters, and so a lot of times my solution is to encode it as a JSON string and then decode it on the flip side. That's the only time I've had to do that for when I'm doing testing. All right, so views, we need to have our authentication view. We'll copy this guy over here. Oh, hey, when I paste it, automatically replace the tab. You're so nice, Sublime. Register, and we'll get a user. And for now, what we just say. Eventually, probably return a token of some sort. That's what for authentication, I generally do token-based authentication, and then manage the token's validity inside, so like expire it and so forth.
Like JSON Web Tokens.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yep. All right. So here we go. Undefined function render. Oh, because see, you need to name the thing. Authentication. Did I spell that right? Look at that.
Nice.
And I don't think we need checking. We'll just check that we got a 201.
Come on.
Okay, well, what do you want to check? That it has an ID?
Yeah, that it has an ID, and that it... I guess you want to change it so it's username and ID, just to make life simpler.
We don't have a username. You want email? Return the email?
That would work, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we should probably add username to it, not just email password, but username.
Did lobsters have usernames?
Yeah, definitely.
Did we just forget to discover that?
Oh wait, no, they let you change username. So
they really have like a display name.
Yeah, display name. There we go. I'm sorry, I goofed.
So it was...
No, our tests. No.
No.
What have I done? I'm sorry.
No, here, but see. Alright, so I just do that. drop your test database.
I threw it on the ground.
I prefer like you empty the gas cans and you lit the match. All right, so display name.
Alchemist Fire.
All right. Display name is optional or required?
Let's make it required.
Okay.
Just to make life simple.
Now let's run our
Because
test.
otherwise we have to deal with all of the logic of, well, what if they don't have a display name? What if they do have it like this? No.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. It did what we wanted it to do. Display.
My little test suite unit testing is magic.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Well, look at it. It's a thing of beauty.
Question. They have. How do you do regex testing?
Do with what testing?
Regex tests in.
Don't know. Never had need to do it. So.
Well, conveniently enough, our colleagues at Lobsters have actually published the. They actually show you the regex they use to validate usernames, so we can just, think that. Here. That soup.
Oh, I guess it should be this. It can't be blank. Okay, let me put that in the register user.
Oh, for next time, what do we want to work on next? Because if you want, if you can give me an assignment, I can do that, and then you and me can do code review next time as well.
Okay, let's take a look at the end, see where we go, because I think we do register, and then I can do the sign in. I think we should do together, and based on this, we'll see how far we get. I don't know if we'll get sign in done or not, but then we might just do some of the like basic CRUD stuff of create stories and all that jazz.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's run our tests and do.
And pairing is so much easier when you don't actually have to share a physical monitor.
Yes. All right, so that's good. For this scenario, and display name. There we go. Because I changed that to match the ecto responses. All right, register requires display name. Okay, so it's the same thing. Let's just check it already. I'm sure there's one already. Ecto change set require. I think this is validate presence, maybe? I'm looking at this thing. There we go. Validate. Constraint, change, confirmation, inclusion. Let's try using this inside there. User. I'm looking at the ecto documentation. You'd think it would be presence, but match the confirmation parameter in that field, stores the validation, validate exclusion. Let's try this. See if I see. Come on, where are you? Come back here. display name. That feels terrible. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Presence? Yeah, it doesn't have validate presence. Hey, you never know. Sometimes it might. Validate format. Well, here it has a regex thing, so we can do that.
Can you shoot me a link to the docs you're looking
Yeah.
at? I'm also still kind of getting used to like where the different things are to look for docs because they have like the actual Elixir tutorials, which are sometimes really good and sometimes kind of not so good. And then they have like all the actual docs, which tend to be like the API references tend to be pretty decent. So, oh no, validate inclusion would be like in range. So validate. I was about to say validate presence, and that's literally what you just checked. I'm sorry, man. I'm kind of slow.
Is reserved. That's not the message I would want.
Validate format perhaps, or validate length.
Oh, it was validate length. Let's try that. Can we do greater than?
Oh, that's a good question. Validate length. Change set field ops and
Min. Okay, we can set min inside here, so we can set minimum of 1.
magic.
Yeah, but look at that. I'm kind of leaning towards our can't be blank right now. Oh, we can set the message. Oh, we can set the message. How about that? And then I say message is.
So did they just glob the last stuff into keywords in the last thing?
Oh, I see. That's not what I want. All right, but what we can do, let's do the validate format. Let's validate number. Man, I swear we had some stuff where we're validating the presence and stuff. I'll take a look at that. That'll be my. I already have that. It's written out of my homework, but I'll do it even more. All right, let's.
we should do like a shared blog.
Like, this is what we were trying to learn, and we failed it.
JB and Chris derping through Elixir.
Well, that's what Ben and I are doing with Unity. We have a basic called Two Dorks Make a Game.
Oh God, Unity. I have a deep, unabiding annoyance at Unity.
Why?
It's a great tool, but when you try to use it for certain things, it falls on its face. Certain types of prototyping, like if I'm doing low-level hacking, like I just need something to draw 3D stuff and then do some basic update logic. It is way too much going on.
Yeah, I think the main thing I will be learning with it, and I keep on going back to, is whenever we're trying to do stuff by code a lot, we need it to be like, take a step back and go, there's probably a library or function or something that does this for us. Like we're programmers, so naturally we reach for, we'll just code the maths, and it's like, nah, like there's a. Thanks. There we go.
Yeah, I didn't know you did. I didn't know you were looking at doing game dev, man. That's a fun one.
Yeah, the same format as like what we're doing here, which is just learning and having fun. What do we say? This validation was pulled from Lobster's site. The validation for display name was pulled. Okay, let's actually make a test that breaks that. You use your regex skills and tell me which one fails.
So the first one would just be empty display name.
Would fail that too. Well, we already checked that, so let's do another one.
Hold on, I'm gonna go look at their thing in question. La 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 la. Mm-hmm.
So if I put like an @ sign and an exclamation mark, that looks like it'll fail.
Yeah, if you start with an @ it's gonna freak out, which it should. Alternately, if you put pipes, yeah, pipes also. No pipes in usernames.
I think this will be enough. There we go.
Elite Haxor. Just write it in lead speak.
Yeah. Okay, so we have register. We have that. Let's take a look at our. We need to tag this. Tag API. Tag authentication. Let's just go ahead and test this controller. Undefined function register users. Oh, because now we need 3. We need a display name.
So here's a question I have for you. When you're doing APIs like this, do you expect the like query style, display underscore name like snake case, or do you expect the JavaScript style drinking camel case?
I'm trying to think of other APIs I consumed and what they do.
I've seen it done both ways. I
generally do underscore and generally be like, let the API have their playground. Like this is how we do it.
Yeah. That's cool.
I bet, yeah.
No,
I'm trying to think if it was in JavaScript. I don't know. I have so much bias from all my experience with Rails that I just underscores is sort of what I do.
Oh, actually, this would be a fun. I think this might be our first assignment. Is if you want me to add updating these things for the user.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's a pretty tightly bounded, like being able to update the display name, being able to update the password, and being able to update the email, I suppose. And the trick, I guess, with updating the password is that if you try to do an update password, you have to include the old password because that's sane and reasonable.
But who wants sane and reasonable? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're still telling me my cell phone is going to stop working. Come on, AT&T. I think my favorite part is where every month I give them money, and then every month my service gets terrible.
They turn your money into bad cell service. I switched from AT&T to Verizon, and I was visiting my dad in Colorado, and like they called and was like, "Well, why did you leave?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Because if I was still with y'all, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation right now."
God, yeah.
All right.
See, that would be fun. Let's start a telco. Let's do everything in Elixir and just start a telco. That's the sweet spot, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's there's the Netflix show with David Cross and the Better Call Saul guy. They did. They had a skit basically around like everyone's coming up with like New Year's resolutions, and like the one guy's was like to not eat meat, and they all make fun of like that's impossible, and everyone else's stuff was like just clearly impossible things that would never happen, and like it was just, and they all achieved theirs, and meanwhile he ate meat and like died or something.
Wow.
And then one of them was like, "I'm gonna create my own cell phone company." And you're like, dude, you just can't do that.
They're like okay, so you watch Better Call Saul. Have you ever seen Burn Notice?
Yes.
Okay, so in my opinion, if somebody ever wants to know how to play like a Diplo rogue in Dungeons and Dragons, they should watch those two shows and be like, "Aha, this you will learn."
I love Burnos. Yeah, it's great, but I just love Bruce Campbell because I just love every time he comes in. He's like,
oh yes,
his name's like Chuck Finnegan or whatever.
Yeah, Charles Finley.
Always, Charles Finley. There we go. Yeah, Charles Finley. Yeah, Charles Finley. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I love it.
God, it's so good, so hokey, but so good.
I think it's here. We need to have some failure tests.
We're just having a good time talking about shows, and it's like we should have some failing tests.
Creates user. error if missing.
So here's a philosophical question for
Mm-hmm.
you. So we have like one thing that passes when it should pass. Excuse me. So do we go through and test each of the failure conditions in isolation, or how many tests do you expect to write for this?
I like writing individual small tests that are repeatable, and like it's a lot of. I'm fine with copy paste code.
Okay,
Um,
I'm fine as well. I was just curious because there's the everybody's got a different way they like to do testing, and it's always interesting to find out like other people's approaches.
I don't like complex tests that are easy to break. I like small tests that are like, okay, oh, this fixes, and you have to update, but it's a minor update a bunch of places or whatever. It's easy to
Mhm.
do. So what I've done before with this style is I then say, so I'm telling them, hey, I don't care if these three parameters aren't there, it's wrong. I can just say,
Oh, flat out like if it doesn't match all three because of the magic of
right.
Elixir. Nice, 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 nice.
Um, I guess we could. I'd rather not call like I could we could call register user, but I'd rather not. Like I'd rather just say, hey, this is you messed up. Register.
Wait, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Ryan, that's legit. That's legit. I'm sorry. Please continue. Oh wait, so you're not doing it based on like individual errors. You're like, look, you just here's everything you should have. Figure it out.
Yeah, like this is just completely like it's not even going through. Like this is a bad format. Like you didn't even do it.
Okay, that's fine. You send a request. Requires display name. Ugh. Set display name. Requires email. Ugh. One more time. Requires password.
Yeah. Just be like, look, you require all those things. And here, so returns error missing display name, email missing password. We should also test now since we know sort of what we want. Assert JSON message is equal to what was our message like? Hey, jerk, you need all these things.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
So display name, we're missing it here. Here we're missing email. And here we're missing password.
So it's kind of entertaining. You can actually in Postgre you can actually get an extension that adds email as a column type. Postgre's magical.
What is this?
You can actually get an extension for Postgre that adds email as a column type. I'm not sure what the usefulness of that necessarily would be, but
Well, that now what's like our test suite all passes. We have register user. We have register user endpoints. This feels pretty good as a
yep.
branch.
Oh, nice, nice alias.
Yeah.